If you are an up-and-coming sports videographer, I'm going to tell you 10 mistakes that you're going to want to avoid. If this is your first time here, my name is Cory Cash. I've been a videographer for the last 8-9 years, and for the last 2 seasons, I've been Dylan Brooks' personal videographer, photographer, and brand strategist. Now we got that intro out the way. I hope you are good. Hope you're still shooting, staying creative, and getting stuff done. It is currently All-Star break. The All-Star game was just yesterday, and I have to say, the All-Star game this year was entertaining. The players played hard. I like the world format, especially because I'm Canadian. So I was rooting for the world team. However, we were down got a couple of our best players in Giannis and Shea. But overall, the format it worked. It worked. It clearly worked. And the players came to play and gave us fans what we want to see. But let's get into the 10 mistakes that you want to avoid as an up-and-coming sports videography. Number 1, think storytelling and not just action plays. You don't want to go to a game and only shoot action plays, because when it comes time to editing, you don't have much of a story to tell, and that's when your edits or highlight reels become a little bit boring. So you want to make sure you get the crowd. You want to make sure you get other things around the game and not just action shots. Number 2, depending on what type of game it is, try to have a story in line before you go and shoot. This is something that I'm working on now, and I realized that now that I have a story in mind before I shoot, I don't have to shoot every little thing. Before, I used to get a little nervous when I would miss like highlight plays or I'd miss certain things, but now I just kind of shoot very selectively because I'm going for a story that I want to tell. Number 3, arrive early to the scene. I would advise, do not show up at tip-off. You want to scope your arena out. You want to scope your gym out. You want to see what angles you can shoot from. If players are coming early, you want some arrival shots. You want some, maybe even some empty gym type of shots to create that story for your video. And me personally, even though I don't use it all the time, I still shoot almost every warm-up because I feel like it's a great introductory piece to a video that I may want to make. My bad for interrupting this video. I just wanted to let you know I created a new sports LUT pack that will take your color grade from looking okay to looking like, hey, this should be on Netflix. This should be in the starting 5. The link is in the description. Check it out. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Number 4, be prepared before tip-off. And I've made this dumb mistake before where I did not charge my batteries the night before, and I came to the shoot where my camera was absolutely dead. Luckily for me, it wasn't a sports event, so I still got the chance to get a battery and, I fixed that up. But however, if you were to come to a sports event with your camera dead, there's probably nothing you can do. And if you are on a paid gig, you'll probably end up losing that client, so you want to make sure that your batteries are charged. Another mistake that I've made in the past is that you want to make sure that your cards are backed up and cleared. There's been times before where I forgot to back up my card and I would come to a shoot and I have all the footage from my last shoot, and I had to make that grueling decision to, wipe everything on the card because I didn't have enough space. I was at a current shoot and I just had to forget about what was on the card because I had to get this shot that I'm currently at. Another thing about being prepared is that you want to have some sort of shot list ready. And even to this day, I still do it every single game, is I have a loose shot list ready. Although, yes, the action is the majority of the part what I would be recording, I still have shots that I've written down because I want to get for the story I'm trying to tell. Like I remember last game I think it was just zoom in on coach to get his reaction through as the gameplay is going on. So those little things help me tell a story for when I'm editing later, and having a shot list ready it just keeps me focused, and I always want to have disciplined shoots. I don't mind breaking rules here and there when it comes to certain things, but for the most part, I want to make sure that my shooting is very disciplined, even if it's sports. Number 5, lock in your exposure and your white balance. When you get to the gym, make sure you change your white balance to the correct settings because different gyms, different arenas have different lighting systems. So you want to make sure your white balance is correct. And you also want to make sure that the exposure that you choose is correct for the gym that you're about to shoot at. Number 6, master your autofocus settings. There's nothing worse when you go to a shoot and you don't have your autofocus setting set up, and then by the time the game comes, you don't know what you're doing, or it's not pulling focus, or it's just out of whack, and you don't want to get to tip-offs and not have this figured out, because when the game is going, it's going to be a lot harder to adjust. If you have a Sony camera and you need help on your autofocus settings, I did make a video that I'll link somewhere over here. Number 7, balance action and emotion. I kind of talked about this in steps 1 and 2. However, I'm talking about it more because I want to emphasize how important it is to shoot more than just action shots. For example, nowadays I can anticipate a lot of emotional shots that happen throughout the game. For example, Dylan always does his legendary stare, his legendary Zen focus type of stance before the game. So I've got that shot. And then after the stance, he'll do like a couple jumps and then run to the other side, pull his jersey, do a boxer's walk back and forth. So those are the type of things that I anticipate when it comes to a game. When you start to shoot a team regularly, or you start to shoot players regularly, you kind of tap into what they're going to do emotionally before the game even starts, and that will help you get a lot more emotional type of shots. Number 8, use the 5 to 10 second rule for emotions. And here's what I mean by that. When a player scores or a play happens, I'm always letting the camera run for at least 5 to 10 seconds longer than the actual play, because I might catch some emotions after the play that I want to use for my post. So I'm always keeping the camera on for 5 to 10 seconds. Then I'm turning it off for like the next play or what have you. Number 9 is anticipate. Don't chase. Sometimes when in sports things happen so fast, and I catch myself doing it right now, is that I'll chase a play where I'm a little bit behind, and then by the time the play is done, the shots doesn't end up good in post-production. So I'm kind of anticipating where like a pass is gonna go or a player is gonna go, so I'm like slightly ahead of the ball, if that makes sense. I feel like that's helped with my smooth handheld moments when I'm anticipating rather than chasing. I know that's like a split second of a difference, but when I have that mindset, it leads to very smooth footage. Number 10, push your creativity through variety. And here's what I mean by that. I've made the mistake where I'm at an arena or I'm at a game and I'm just shooting from one angle. Now, if the rules tell you, or someone says, you can only sit from the seat, then that's what you have to do. But if you have the privilege to move around and shoot from different angles, please shoot from different angles. You want a variety of shots, because look, we don't watch movies all from the same angles. It's a better way to tell a cohesive story to keep your audience engaged. So those are the mistakes you want to avoid as a beginner sports videographer. Even to this day or a year ago, I'm still making tiny mistakes like forgetting to clear my cards. And trust me, you do not want to do it, because you can land yourself in big trouble when it comes to shooting for clients. Also, if you want to know what it's like shooting for a professional athlete, or you're looking to shoot for a professional athlete, I made this video to tell you the ins and outs and how you can get ahead and how you can become valuable and not lose your job as a sports videographer. Until next time, if you enjoyed, please like, comment, subscribe. It helps out the channel.